Mackenzie, do you think we have enough races in D&D?
I mean, there's elf, half elf, human. I mean, there's got to be 5 or 6. It's probably enough.
I think we need about 3 more. Welcome to the Blue Dragon Guild, a channel all about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Baron.
And I'm Mackenzie.
Today we are talking about the latest Unearthed Arcana, the Gothic Lineages.
There are 3 new races that they've added into this newest Unearthed Arcana for you to play test, with your groups, which is the normal nature if you've ever looked any of these up.
They are the Dontpear, the Hexblood, and the Reborn. When I saw these, I was pretty excited. The Dontpear race is something that I've actually homebrewed for our group. Mine is a lot less forgiving than this one, but we'll get into that a little later. Jumping right into the Dontpear. Dontpear are half vampires. So they can look like any race, elf, dwarf, human, however you want to do it, but their parentage is part vampire. Me, being someone who loves vampires, immediately said, yep, this is happening.
And as per the new Tasha's book that came out, it does say here that you just have one stat buff increased by 2, and the other one increased by 1. You get to choose what those are, because as of normal, if you wish, you can just pick those into any, strength, dex, charisma, any of them as you wish already.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be the new norm, and I think that's good. Lets people have a little bit of variation. It's fun for a little bit of customization feel for the players. So the typing of the Dontpear is both humanoid and undead. Now, I know what you're thinking. That raises a little bit of problem if someone's trying to cast Cure Wounds on you, because the Cure Wounds does not affect the undead. Well, the good news is you're also part human, part humanoid, so the spell will in fact go through as is stated in here.
The Dontpear also have a base speed of 35, which makes them a little faster than some races. They are given Dark Vision.
The Dark Vision.
Along with Spider Climb, so 2 additional things, something similar to the Elf, but then to have Spider Climb is already ridiculous for somebody starting off, in a low level, which is I think is pretty neat. Makes sense.
I think that's pretty rad. It also says in there, like at 3rd level, they can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and hang upside down along ceilings. Pretty just vampiric,
Pretty vampiric,
So I can see a lot of infiltration going on with this.
I wonder if they'll keep this until the end, because I'm like, that's pretty strong at the beginning. Which I know some races can fly.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay.
Yeah, some races can fly, looking at you, Aarakocra. But I don't think this is overpowered by any means, especially because you can get spells that have that. If you're a druid, you can transform into a spider and climb things. So I think it's okay. It's helpful, but it's not game-breaking, right. I don't feel. Now, I'm sure somebody will prove us wrong, but
you never need, certain items. It's just like, okay, we'll be good.
The Dontpear also gets a Vampiric Bite attack. It's 1d4 plus your con mod, so at most you're doing
8 or 9.
8 or 9. So that's pretty good, but whenever you bite something that isn't a construct or undead, you can empower yourself in one of the following ways. You can regain hit points equal to the damage dealt, or you can gain a bonus to the next ability check or attack roll you make. The bonus equals the damage dealt. And you can empower yourself a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So I can see where this might get a little overpowered, but you can only do it, at max 5 times a day, and the most you can get would be 9. Right. So that's really good, but there's still the chance that you'll roll low.
Right.
So I can see where this would be really fun in a RP session.
Right.
The next race in the Unearthed Arcana is the Hexblood. The Hexbloods are descended from hags, and they can even eventually become hags. So it's no secret that we really like hags here at the Blue Dragon Guild, so this one really got us excited.
You can just automatically be one.
Yep. The Hexblood also gets dark vision up to 60 feet. They also have Fey Resilience, which gives them advantage against saving throws, the Charmed effect, or also to end the Charmed effect.
They are given the Hex Magic trait, which allows them to cast Disguise Self and Hex. Basically when you do this, your Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spellcasting ability for these spells, so you can use anything that you have of the highest, which is really neat. Once you cast either one of these spells with your trait, you can't cast it again, until you finish a long rest. But nice to get 2 spells kind of right off the bat.
Yeah, it also says if you have spell slots available for these through your class, you can cast these with that as well. The next trait that the Hexblood get is called Magic Token. This allows them to pull out a lock of hair, rip out a tooth,
Check a nail.
and as long as they are within 10 miles and on the same plane as this, they automatically know where it is, and it's kind of like the familiar spell. They can see through it and hear through it, and that, to me, that's really cool for some infiltration kind of stuff. And the best part, the next day, those things grow back. So you can just pull out all your teeth, all your hair.
Be like, I can hear everything.
I think this really, really bleeds into the hag part of it. Because you think about hags, they're creepy. They're pulling out their teeth, their hair. It's creepy.
They got to keep everybody in wraps. They got to know where everything is at all times.
I think the Hexblood is a really interesting race that I would actually, like the Dontpear, I would like to see it included in a book sometime. So hopefully we will get to see this in the future. The third new race from this UA is called the Reborn. The Reborn are people who have died, but yet somehow keep on living. They remind me a lot of the Hollowed One from the Wildmount book, but they're drastically different. Their typing is both humanoid and either construct or undead. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They also get dark vision.
The other trait they're given is Deathless Nature. They get advantage on saving throws against disease or being poisoned and resistance to poison damage. They have advantage on death saving throws to keep you alive because you are reborn. You don't have to eat or drink. You don't have to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep. You just finish a long rest after doing 4 hours of no activity whatsoever.
That long rest after 4 hours is probably the best part of this race. Elves, they can meditate for 4 hours, but it is specifically stated that they still have to do the 8 hours of long rest. This, even in the race, says 4 hours, you're good to go. So there are so many different classes, I mean, especially spellcasters, that this is just going to be the biggest benefit for. I mean, you're the wizard in a party of warlocks. You'd be like, all right, boys, we got this. Yep, short rest. Yep, I'll do it. 4 hours, whatever.
They can just roll back and get some of their health, a couple of things back. It's like, ready to go.
Yep.
I'll take watch. If you want to take a long one, I may go do something completely different.
Yeah. They also get knowledge of a past life. This allows them, whenever they make an ability check, they can roll a d6 and add that to the roll. They get this a number of times equal to their proficiency modifier. This is just a cool little flavor thing. You roll low, and I'm going to add my d6 to that just in case. So I think it's pretty interesting. The Reborn, I think, probably is the one that stands the slimmest chance of making it into a book, unless they change that 4 hour rest thing, because that's
a little easy.
That's pretty overpowered. But other than that, they really don't get much.
Right.
So it may be balanced out, but for the rest of your party, the rest of the players, I kind of feel like they'll feel a little gypped on that.
Right. You'll be ready to go and restored every single time so much quicker. I mean, which is good because it'll help your party save you a lot, or if that's your healer, you could keep going much longer. But like you said, if they don't switch that just a little bit, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So Mackenzie, out of these 3 races, which one do you like the most?
Probably the Dontpear. I'm a big fan of like the vampire stuff too. I love, which is weird, the movie Blood Rain, which has that same exact, and the video game has that same exact. She's half vampire, half human. So it was really cool to see that kind of in there and how they took that interpretation of it. So that's probably my favorite one of these three that are coming.
It's definitely my favorite, but I think I like my homebrew one a little better. Maybe I'm a little biased there.
You gotta send it in.
Yeah, maybe I'll send it in to him. But like I said earlier, mine is a lot less forgiving. I gave mine sunlight sensitivity. If they ever drop to 0 and have to make death saves whenever they wake up, they have to feed. I based my Dontpear pretty heavily on Vampire Hunter D. So maybe this is better, maybe mine's better, who knows. It's just one of those things that if the DM lets you do it, just roll with it. I also really like the Hex Blood. I think that it's just has a really good flavor to it when it comes to the hag stuff.
See, I like that one a lot with the, like you said with the hag and different, to be able to listen and follow. Mm. The Reborn one, I think it's cool, but to me, with them having the hollowed one, I'm like, okay, it's close enough. I don't really need it.
With the hollowed one, you can basically like revive one of your characters that has died.
Right, yeah.
Whether you're playing in the Wildmount setting or whether you've adapted it to your home setting. However, I think the hollowed one is probably better.
Right, yeah, I do too. And the hollowed one, I mean, even in the way that we used it, a character died, it was easy to do that real quick. I mean, I guess you could do it with the Reborn one as well, but that one feels like to me it's almost, they have a story that's been around longer than we started level 1 and it was like that. That seems harder to adapt right at the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. So go down to the comments below and tell us what you think about these 3 new races. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Let us know anything that you think needs to be changed. We'd love to hear it.
And if you'd like to see more D&D content, be sure to subscribe.
And if you'd like to see a video about making your first character, check it out right here. And until next time, keep the dice rolling.